Boom, what's up you guys? Welcome back to another members exclusive video and welcome back to another edition of Waves Place. This is the final week of October. Spooky season is coming to a close and with the way things are looking today, I think we're about to close out a pretty amazing month with another winning week. So you guys know the drill. We're going to go through every single name within the title of this video. I'll do my best to keep it in that order. I'll try to remember. But, the big ones first. We'll cover Open, VERI, some AI plays. Move into some puts. Gold doing really, really good work for us today because obviously we have put options on it. And, we'll talk Bitcoin and RIOT, of course, as well. Okay, so before we jump into the charts, we have some very exciting stuff to cover. I guess to kick it off with the OpenDoor, because literally as of the past 15, 20 minutes, we just got a pretty exciting move higher. And, I won't spoil it too much. Before we jump into the charts, let's really quickly discuss kind of the macro backdrop going into a massive week of earnings, because we have 5 magnificent 7 members who are set to report over the next few sessions. So Wednesday and Thursday are really the big ones. Not going to spend a crazy amount of time here, just putting it on your radar. One of the busiest weeks of the earnings season is upon us, with more than 150 S&P 500 companies set to report. Among the stocks on deck are 5 of the Mag 7 or Magnificent 7: Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, and Microsoft. Others include United Health and Caterpillar. Okay, so Tuesday, United Health; Wednesday, Caterpillar, and Meta Platforms. Wednesday is really when things start to heat up. So Meta, we have on Wednesday. Alphabet, we have on Wednesday as well. Microsoft also reporting on Wednesday. So that's 3 of the 5 Mag 7. And then on Thursday, we have the Big Apple and Amazon. Okay. So these, again, this is a very, very significant chunk of the S&P 500 right here. Again, 150 companies within the S&P 500 are reporting. These are the 5 really that obviously matter most, especially when it comes to just kind of the fire behind the growth sectors of the market and kind of the risk appetite behind the market. And actually, one more time, I did this last time too, but don't look too much at that. Fear and greed index. Fear and greed index still sitting in fear levels. We're slowly working our way higher towards neutral territory. And I think that, to be completely honest, I think we probably get up into greedy levels as we move into the holiday season, just given the general seasonal tailwinds behind the market. So this is a really good sign going into earnings season. Like, sentiment is already low. So, that this in itself, the fact that fear has been lingering in the markets and there's just been kind of a fog over, not us, but over the heads of many investors, just gives me reason to believe that pretty much anything that happens as far as the news cycle is concerned, unless it's a crazy black swan, some meteor of some sort, I feel like the news cycle at this point heavily favors the bulls, especially with this second piece of news. So earnings, I think, favors the bulls. Again, sentiment is just generally low. People are still a little fearful and wondering whether or not they should deploy capital into the markets, leaving, the surprise, the upside surprise potential there when it comes to these earnings reports. And, we have a trade deal on the horizon. This is good news for growth assets, bad news if you guys read this morning's newsletter, bad news for gold as well. So I think the Waves portfolio is perfectly poised as we move into the historically bullish months of November, December. So I'm not even going to read over this. We'll see what happens here. But if Trump wants a trade deal, it's pretty damn likely to me that they probably achieve a trade deal. Again, what are the specifics behind that trade deal? I have no idea. I'm not even going to speculate on that. But good news for the markets. Clarity is always a good thing when it comes to the financial markets. Investors like certainty. And, if they get a trade deal, even in the talks or anything in writing of any sort, that's good news for the markets. Okay, again, clarity is a good thing. So, that just kind of relays us right into the charts. OpenDoor briefly, let's go to the 5-minute candles here just to get real short term. So OpenDoor, not sure what the purpose of this move was, a break of this line of short-term resistance right here. Unfortunately, we weren't able to close. I mean, unfortunately, this was just a little bull trap right here. It's someone really trying to get this break of long-term resistance going. But overall, I think it's going to happen. I think, as I've been saying, again, in these videos, in the newsletters, this bull flag formation, it is a descending triangle. So keep in mind, although this does look bull flaggy, this the length at which this is panning out is the only thing that's alarming me a little bit, along with there isn't necessarily a lack of volume, but we're not really getting the crazy volume we were seeing in this first wave up over here. But I still stand behind my bullish thesis going into earnings November 6th, less than 2 weeks away now, so that's super exciting. I'm bullish going into this earnings report. And I want to clarify too that I don't think it's going to be like, oh, the previous quarter, they're printing blockbuster numbers and revenue growth in the prior quarter. I think the reason this is going to excite investors, which is the reason most earnings reports do or earnings calls do, is because the guidance is going to be there. And they're just given, the new board, the new CEO, Keith Rabois, back on the board, who's one of the founders of OpenDoor. I think they're probably going to have some promising news of some sort to present in this earnings call. Again, revenue numbers. I don't think the previous quarter is going to be blockbuster or anything. I don't think that's the reason investors are going to want to buy OpenDoor. But I think their new CEO is going to make some comments that will get people excited, and hopefully that lights the fire that can catalyze a breakout from this technically promising formation. Okay, so do we break above this today? Let's hope so. It's very, very possible. If we close the day above, I mean, we have 15 minutes left, so it'll be exciting. I don't think this, we'll see how long this spans, but I mean, it's looking promising. If we can close the day above, I mean, even if we close at 850 where we were like up 6%, we're up 4% now, that would still be a little sus, a little suspicious. Very possibly a bull trap, like a breakout bull trap. So we'll see what happens here. We'll really have to see how the next couple of days pan out. But very, very promising sign. If OpenDoor can close the day, above 850, that would technically result in a breakout. Let's see what 1-day moving averages are looking like. Yeah, bounce successfully back above this 20-day moving average right here. The red one, still well above all major moving averages. But again, the 20-day, 50-day moving averages came in clutch, proper support. Heading to the top end, about to break out from this descending triangle pattern, which could potentially result as a bull flag, which my money's on. So let's hope for the best there. Excited to see what happens. And, this is a beautiful technical setup going into, once again, what I believe will be a bullish earnings report. Okay, so that's OpenDoor, Veritone. Looking, I mean, I'd be lying if I said this looks really good, similar to OpenDoor. I do like to see that Veritone did successfully bounce off of its 20-day moving averages. Also perfectly retested our line of broken resistance as new support. You got the perfect little double whammy of support right there. So that came in clutch. It's always validating to see things that you have high conviction in, or patterns that you've created a high conviction in over the years work out. In this case, again, the 20-day moving average, check. Favorite trading pattern in the game. Broken resistance becoming new support, vice versa. But Veritone, similar to OpenDoor, not going to go back, but Opens looks pretty much the same. Veritone curling up off the bottom as far as 1-day stochastic RSI is concerned. 1-day RSI has broken back above its exponential moving average, where my cursor is hovering right here. The white line is the EMA, or exponential moving average. Nowhere near overbought territory yet, there. So that's promising too. Gives us a reason to move. And as I said on Friday, let's hope that November 6th, let's hope that OpenDoor and Veritone can give us reason to make November 6th a holiday Waves Capital. If we get a double beat, if we get a double whammy, in a good way, a good double whammy, then November 6th is going to officially be, let's call it Waves Day. Okay, so let's hope for the best there. Nothing is guaranteed in the markets. You guys know how it goes, but everything is shaping up pretty beautifully for us. So, again, nothing's guaranteed, but fingers crossed that things pan out in our favor. AI, Palantir, take a quick look at PL, and then we'll move into ARKG. ARKG, talk a little bit of CRISPR because CRISPR announced earnings soon. Bitcoin, Riot, gold, silver. All right. Okay, so C3 AI, this is promising too. I really like to see the fact that we have, this head and shoulders pattern, this potential head and shoulders pattern is technically still in play. But what I'm seeing right here as I'm like, this is the first time I've actually looked at this chart today, and this really looks a lot more promising than it has the past few days. One day RSI, again, slightly curling to the, or slightly moving higher, breaking above that exponential moving average. One day RSI curling up off of the bottom. On top, like this is a very, very promising combination right here. Volume holding steady, not super low, not high, but I like to see it holding steady. And I also like to see, obviously, the fact that C3 has successfully broken back above this line of shorter term support following a brief, a brief sell-off and little bear trap. Okay, so from here, we definitely have this 50-day moving average is kind of standing in our way. We have the 100-day moving average coming in just below my line of broken support, new resistance target, which is around like 2080, 2075, 2080. The 100-day moving averages as of right now is around 2020. So I expect that to come into play. If we can break above that 100-day moving average, that's going to be very bullish just pretty much every trader out there looks at the 100-day moving averages and puts a lot of weight on the 100-day moving average from a technical perspective. So we'll see what happens there. C3 still, though, like we're, at this point in the Waves portfolio, I'm holding calls that expire way out. And on that note, I just realized I haven't plugged it yet. So if you guys, I know most of you who are members of the YouTube are members of the portfolio newsletter group, but if not, what are you waiting for? It's the first link in the description of this video. You get everything that this box here entails. Choose whichever pricing plan you want, but we've been crushing it all year long. I do not feel any guilt I don't feel any guilt at all saying that because it's been a freaking amazing year for Waves Capital. So I'm really proud of what we've been doing. I'm really proud of, just the fact that we've been so consistent with a relatively low, whenever you're trading options, there's always risk involved, of course, but a relatively low risk portfolio, well-diversified, strong portfolio. As always, it's just my opinion, but obviously I'm doing my best to make myself money, make you guys money, put food on the table for our families. And I'm really proud to say that we've been doing a good job. So again, if you're not a member, first link in the description of the video. Welcome to the team. If not, I appreciate you still being a member of the YouTube group. Okay, so good. AI looking good. We'll see what happens here. AI C3 announces earnings on, did I scroll past it? I did. C3 announces earnings on December 3rd. So, we're still over a month out from that. But again, call options, at least the contracts that I'm currently holding for C3 expire way out. And I do expect over time, over the course of 2026, given, they give us a reason to get excited again at their earnings report, which my money is on. I think that some of these really, really exciting price targets could come into play in the case that I'm correct about that. So again, fingers crossed there. We'll see what happens. Palantir breaking to a brand new all-time high today for the first time since August. This level around $1.90 has really been tough for Palantir. But, at this point, as I've been saying, I'm in this for the long term. This looks really technically bullish. I'm still not going to trade call options on this. But our entry on Palantir is it's either 18 or $24. I know those are very, very different numbers, but it's either 18 or $24. Still, regardless, we're significantly up on our common share position. Time that one incredibly well. So, excited to see Palantir keep growing. Again, I'm really just holding this in like a retirement portfolio. That's what my common share portfolio is for the most part. Very rare that I alter that thing, but I'm not planning on selling Palantir anytime soon. They report earnings in exactly 1 week, so we'll see what happens there. But just AI, general intelligence, pretty critical, and I can't see that. Or I should say it's difficult to imagine a scenario in which, maybe Palantir loses market share. Actually, hopefully they lose market share to AI and Veritone. They're significantly smaller counterparts. But overall, Palantir, market leader by far. Alex Karp is a mad genius. And it's difficult for me to imagine a scenario in which this doesn't just at least keep, slowly climbing higher over a long-term time horizon. Okay, so Palantir, good news there. Congrats on the all-time high, Mr. Alex Karp and team. Or any shareholders. Planet Labs, one of our few, as you guys know, actually I want to take a look at CoreWeave quickly after this. Planet Labs, as you guys know, one of our few put positions, and it's done us incredibly well. It's also really, really validating to see Planet Labs falling while pretty much the entire market, Planet Labs and gold falling, which is just propelling the portfolio that much higher. So it feels really good to correctly pick put plays in a market that's just continues to climb higher. So good stuff there. Well done. Planet Labs, I do think, as I just said in the newsletter, if you didn't read it, I do think Planet Labs could be printing. It's possible that Planet Labs falls significantly further. When you zoom out here, it's very like this thing ran up so hard that it really wouldn't surprise me if we did fall back to that $9-10 region. But at the same time, I'm bullish on risk assets. I'm bullish on small caps. Planet Labs falls into both of those categories. So I do think that this inverse head and shoulders pattern is the likelier scenario. I do still think Planet Labs comes down to like this $12.90 to $13 region in order to kind of check off the box on this opposing shoulder, just to make it a little more symmetrical. So $13, I'm just getting rid of my whole position, forgetting about Planet Labs and focusing on, the funner plays within the portfolio. Real quickly, where is CoreWeave? CoreWeave's right there. CoreWeave doing pretty well today. This chart is like, this is such a weird chart, and this thing has been trading so weird that I'm really don't have anything to say from a technical perspective. But as I said, just the purpose of CoreWeave within the portfolio is, in case for some reason there is, this is a true hedge. In case we get a weird black swan, in case, three eye atlas or whatever it's called, makes contact or something. This is in the portfolio just to keep things safe. It's always important, especially, with how many call options we have on deck right now, how much exposure we have to AI. Good to be at least a little hedged. And honestly, I think if there is going to be one company that scuffs earnings or at least doesn't meet expectations when it comes to earnings, which CoreWeave announces on November 12th, I think it's probably going to be CoreWeave. So CoreWeave, I think, is a great hedge in this market. Again, if these puts go to zero, perfectly fine with that. This is a hedge position. Okay, this is to keep the portfolio safe in case of something crazy. Okay, so it's CoreWeave. Let's take a look at what are we looking at? Okay, ARKG, on. No point in looking at that. Bullish on though. They announced earnings early November too, so that's super exciting. ARKG and CRISPR underperformed the markets today. Personally, not super worried. CRISPR does announce earnings in 2 days, and I am bullish on CRISPR's earnings, considering CRISPR makes up 10% of the ARK Genomic Revolution ETF. I think that will have a positive impact on it. Potentially, if CRISPR announces a promising earnings report, I would be surprised if some of the smaller players within the genomic sector rally even more than CRISPR, because they're just smaller, more, investors are going to be looking for the next CRISPR. That's just the psychological aspect of it. So ARKG, I love ARKG going into CRISPR's earnings report. I think it's kind of a win-win situation. Even if CRISPR says, they're like the other competitors are outperforming us, that could also be good news for ARKG. So again, that's just my 2 cents, but ARKG, I think, is a very good play right now with crazy asymmetric upside potential. And again, I'm still going to be eyeballing over the course of 2026. Does it happen in Q1? Does it happen in Q2? I don't know. It's very optimistic to believe that to be true, but over the longer term, I definitely think that this line of broken support has yet to be retested as new resistance will come into play around $60. I think we will see $60 in 2026, and I do want exposure to ARKG until we see it. Okay, ARKG, Bitcoin, RIOT, gold, silver. RIOT looking good, BITX looking good. Bitcoin, very, very promising here that we have broken above all major moving averages. We were talking in the portfolio last Friday about how significant this is like 20, 50, and 100-day moving averages are all within this 112 to 114 region. So Bitcoin broke and closed a daily candle above that. That's really bullish. Also managed to reclaim levels above the line of previously broken support on this ascending channel pattern that's been in place since May. This is all bullish. This is one day is stochastic RSI about to curl down. Maybe we get a short-term correction. What I'm seeing here that I'm sure a lot of you are looking at right now too, potential inverse head and shoulders. Pick up, boom. Potential little inverse head and shoulders pattern shaping up right here. Maybe we pull back a little bit. I can see it's coming back down to like 110, 111, mid 110s, high 110s, 111. But overall, I think that even if we do pull back, this will still result in an inverse head and shoulders pattern, take us back up to those all-time highs that we saw back in early October, just earlier this month. That feels like a long time ago. But at this point, it seems really, really likely. Let's go weekly candles. Like just yes, so many bees everywhere. Boom, boom. So like weekly candles, weekly stochastic RSI about to curl to the upside. I think we make our way up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 140, 150K by the end of the year. Okay. Bitcoin RIOT. No call options, as you guys know. RIOT about to break to a new 2025 high. Probably see it by the end of the week if what I just explained with Bitcoin happens. Super, super bullish. Again, unfortunately didn't get that entrance or the shark opportunity to pick up some RIOT calls, but still the largest position in my common share portfolio, my oldest position, my OG. So always love to see RIOT succeed and, onward and upward. Gold, beautiful. Love to see it freaking. Gold down 3% is amazing. And I like to see silver actually bouncing, putting up a little more of a fight than gold. So gold, as you guys know, let's go to actual spot gold. Like when you just zoom out on gold, beautiful. This is so textbook. I'd love to see this. So gold, again, saw that massive move down, printed this symmetrical triangle pattern. That pattern did result in the direction of the general trend. This is also a bear flag, what I would consider to be a bear flag. Gold, I think, that we do have this line of broken, like very kind of measly line of broken resistance that could come into play around 1% down from current levels. But overall, when you zoom out here on gold, look at weekly again. Weekly was so overbought. Weekly RSI has fallen back below its exponential moving average, curling down off the top following obnoxiously overbought levels. And just zooming out on gold, like it wouldn't surprise me at all to pull back to what I consider to be this line of, let's go one day, what was I doing? Okay, so this line of like super conservative resistance right here. Absolute resistance on this long-term uptrend been in place since 2024, like Christmas 24. Conservative, what I would just consider to be conservative support right here. You can move this around a little bit. This is just how I drew it. So conservative resistance, conservative support, I'm sorry. If we see it's over the next week or two, that would take us down another 7%, I'm sorry, to like 3,700. And, if GLD falls 7%, yeah, same thing right here, 7%, that would take us down to like 340. So all of my targets here, as I said in the newsletter, I broke it down in the newsy this morning, in the trade alert portfolio analysis, I should say. So those are my targets. We'll skim profits appropriately and, alter my position as I feel appropriate. But this is just a textbook, second leg lower. Love to see this. I think gold does fall into the months ahead with these in mind as well. Okay, so gold, silver, again, if gold falls, silver might fall as well. I don't like to see that silver has broken below this line of previous resistance, that it hasn't come into play as new support. Is it possible that silver falls 10% too to test the line of support on this, previously broken out of ascending channel? Absolutely. That would come down 10% right in parallel with gold. But overall, I still think silver is a much more attractive investment than gold moving into 2026, which is why I am holding AG calls and SLV calls. Bullish on silver moving into the new year. AG, I do think has a pretty good chance at beating earnings come November 5th. So that's why I do have some exposure there. Also as like just kind of a hedge to my gold puts in the case that, I could be wrong and gold keeps climbing, gold rallies again. Still have exposure there, but all of these have pretty asymmetric risk profiles on them. Like they all, even if one fails or if my gold puts fail, the win from my SLV and AG puts should still allow me to profit on this precious metals trade. And really, even if, because my SLV call options expire significantly further out than my November 21st, I think, put options for GLD, like it all just kind of weighs itself out. And, it's the balance of these positions right now makes it very, very hard for this to become a losing trade as far as the entirety of this precious metals trade is concerned. Okay, so that's the video, you guys. I think we covered a lot there. That was a satisfying one. So let me know, as always, what if you have any questions, what you think about any of our positions, what you're excited about. Always want to talk to you guys downstairs, so I look forward to catching you in the comments. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, team.